Hello, Tesla cats. This is Tesla Chad, or Lucy if you'd prefer, and welcome back to the garden. So, we're into the early months of 2026, and the world is feeling completely insane. More so than usual. And I hope I can provide a small break from the insanity to share some ideas with all of you. So, let's get into that. Starting with who this lovely lady is. Meet Lotus, an elf and one of my 4 main cast members for a webcomic I'm working on producing called Rimfall. She has plant-based abilities alongside a secondary set of abilities that I will cover in a later video. She lives and works out of the towns that the series is named after, Rimfall, which happens to be very well known worldwide and throughout the galaxy. The reason being that in that world and universe, high fantasy and mythological fantasy creatures live alongside aliens and humans, and they all share in society. Rimfall takes place years after baseline humanity as we know it has learned to live alongside high fantasy creatures and aliens. This does not mean that there are absolutely no problems within the world, but rather that these problems get solved. And the series focuses on how they get solved within the city of Rimfall through the eyes of our main cast. Now that we've covered all of that, let's talk a bit about how I developed Lotus. Her original design up until now hasn't changed all that much, and I got her color palette from the very early stages of her design from the TikTok AI green screen filter. The prompt I punched in was Tesla wisteria trees, and yes, I know, AI is a problem. I will not argue you on that. Rather, I will say I only pulled the color palette from the picture that I got, which was just a jumbled mess of colors with stuff like that. And on Procreate, you can pull a color palette from an existing image. So that's what I did to get the initial colors, and then I just picked and chose from there what colors I wanted to use. Aside from that, some other artist that I follow on Instagram was doing a daily drawing challenge, and I believe it was an OC drawing challenge that involved plants, with one of their prompts being plant tail, and I kind of just stole that and went from there, as I design on the fly and don't try to think about, oh, what is this going to be used for, which is part of my problem. In this first iteration of Lotus, she was an experiment, and I tried to show what her additional abilities outside of plant manipulation were using colors in the background. I wonder if you can figure out what the secondary ability is. Then, back in 2025, I stumbled across this drawing among many others, and decided I wanted to redraw a few of them, and I ended up settling on redrawing Lotus. In the newest iteration before the speed paint for this one, I kept the flowy sleeves, but they weren't mesh, nor were they connected to a long-sleeved 3/4 sweatshirt. And I changed the shirt out for a tank top. The color palette as well on the boots and pants was changed, and in the iteration you're watching now, her body is a bit fuller. We have completely ditched the long detached sleeves, and that's about it. It's important to note that it takes me a minute to create art pieces, and in between the first drawing and the current one, my art has improved. Though I no longer have the ability to use my iPad, and by extension, Procreate. That said, I decided to test out Clip Studio Paint, which has been awesome, and a bit of a learning curve at the same time. Also, having an old Wacom tablet that has no display has also been a bit of a learning curve, but I'm hoping to get faster with each drawing. That unfortunately means this drawing took 26 hours and 8 minutes. Like I said, I think I can get faster over time, and I hope to get faster over time. With that covered, let's talk a bit more about her character as a whole. Lotus was adopted by her brother figure Cairo, a gargoyle, when she was around 10 years old. A few years later, she and Cairo both adopted Luca, a Slinx that has limited energy manipulation. And finally, at the beginning of the official story, she will meet Shirin, a member of a humanoid race of aliens known as Kirinka. She works with Cairo at the local guild and as a part of his guild party, taking on jobs that typical law enforcement cannot handle alone, as guilds in this world are used to help in a variety of places and help to maintain peace and order. Due to her circumstances and all the people she's had to interact with, she is known for being a great judge of character. I think that's all I really want to cover about her for now, as I don't really want to reveal too much about her or the rest of the world of Rimfall in the video. That said, I am more than open to answering questions as they come up in the comments, and as long as it doesn't reveal too much about anything. That said, there's more of the speed paint left for you guys to enjoy, so I'll go ahead and let you vibe out to the song Memento by Miyu, and I'll come back at the end to see you guys off. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I desperately hope that this has been a welcome break from the world. I really hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you at least like some of the ideas that I've portrayed for this comic that I will be working my ass off to get to you guys as soon as humanly possible. This is just one thing I've been attempting to succeed at, and all because my mom passed in March of this previous year. So I hope you'll stick around for the ride, and I really appreciate any and all support this video gets. If you do like this and you want to see more content from me, please like, comment, subscribe, hype, and ring the notification bell so that you hopefully will never miss a future upload. And hopefully by next time, I'll have some proper character sprites of my Sona for the video. But either way, please remember to keep on keeping on, and I'll see you Tesla cats in the next video featuring Cairo's design. Bye-bye!